And welcome back to the Philippine National Qualifiers of Female Esports League 2019. We will be your casters for this game. My name is Uomi. Together with me is Veer. And I'm excited to see what will happen in this next fight that we're going to see. But I do know that pick and ban is already starting. So we will be heading straight to the pick and ban right now. A little bit of mishap over there. But looking at their bans, what can you say?
Okay, so honestly, I think a lot of these are target bans. So on the blue side, first to the bans, they have Morgana, Kindred, and Tarek. Those really aren't super popular picks. Meanwhile, on the red side, I think we have seen a lot of. We have definitely seen Karma, Kaisa, and Malphite in the previous days. So those are definitely target bans as well. For the first two picks for both sides, Caitlyn Janna is really safe and at the same time really strong lane. So they're able to control the wave properly. And with the Janna, it's almost guaranteed that you can prevent any sort of dive that the Nautilus will try because you can simply cancel the hook with your Q.
Yeah, but looking at Jinx Nautilus, if you're unable to cancel the Dredge line, that's gonna be a dead Janna for sure. Janna is known to be one of the squishiest supports inside the current meta. Yes, Janna, I think at least in this isolated FSL meta, we are seeing a lot of Janna picks, but a Nautilus, one good Dredge line could seal the deal for this Janna. But looking at the mid lane matchup, we are seeing Ahri and Lissandra. What are your thoughts about this one?
So Ahri's has had a really high pick rate this whole tournament. From based off of yesterday, but Lissandra is more of a staple, more of a meta pick. So the Lissandra has more consistency, but I think with the popularity of Ahri, we can safely say that at least the people who pick the champion are actually really good at it. They're not like the kinds you see in solo queue.
And of course, Ahri picked in competitive games like this game. Of course, you have to know when to pull the trigger, because usually when you play assassin mages like Ahri, what you want to do is to get priority targets who are immobile. And right now, we do have a priority target that is immobile in the form of Jinx. Not until they get a first kill inside a team fight where Jinx could just reset using his passive. So going to this second banning phase, we are seeing an Illaoi and Shen ban coming in from Amplfy. Meanwhile, for Ardent Esports, a Renekton ban. Renekton, one of the strongest top laners right now.
Yeah, Renekton's definitely on the top, on the top of the food chain. But what I noticed is that they've been banning almost all top laners. That means they don't really care about whatever the jungle picks. There's a higher emphasis on finding the suitable environment for their top laners. So for both teams, it's true that they want a better situation for their top laner, and so they're banning out the enemy top laners champions.
And I'm guessing that they are gonna draft at least one carry top laner, because usually you do ban a lot of top laners like what they did when you're getting or trying to get carry top laners such as Riven, Fiora, or Camille. Riven right now in meta, Gangplank as well, and Gangplank isn't banned right now, so I'm waiting if they are gonna pick carry top laner for the side of Amplfy. Meanwhile, for Ardent, they do get that Jarvan, a staple jungler throughout almost all the metas prior post release of this Jarvan. But we are seeing Maokai that is kind of uncommon nowadays.
Yeah, it's kind of late to the meta, like a year or so late to the meta. I don't think oh, okay, so they pick it. At least they have a strong front line.
Yes.
With the Jarvan. So what I see for the Maokais, it's like a supplementary to the current blue side comp. Where they just want to poke and keep their distance from red side. Which one engage with the Kled, the Sejuani, the Lissandra, Nautilus? Like all four of those champions are meant for engage. So these two sides definitely have different game plans for this game.
Yeah, as I said, all of that top lane bans lead to a carry top laner, and Kled is one of the carry top laners that we are talking about. Kled paired up with that Jinx can easily get off one target, and we have to take note that Cha, Ja, and Shendi, I think if the roles are right now, they do they are playing a lot of squishy champions. So one good pick-off coming in from Nautilus here, Sejuani, that could reset the Jinx, and that's going to be huge for Amplfy. But we have to look at the patch notes a little bit over here. Kled right now has the grievous wounds on the bear trap and rope. And of course, Maokai, we do know that he heals through his passive.
Yeah. So we can expect to see the Kled just absolutely winning this matchup. On top of that, Kled just has so much more base stats. So the Maokai doesn't really have a safe trading pattern. The Q at most, but that puts him in range of the Kled bear trap. So the Kled can engage at any time while the Maokai can't.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge in the laning phase, especially if you want to be tanky on the mid game or late game. Kled, if he's able to get 2 or 3 kills out of this Maokai, that's going to be hard for Ardent Esports over here. But looking at Ardent Esports right now, we are looking at a Caitlyn versus Jinx matchup. It is going to be a classic long-range AD carry matchup, but I have to give it to... If this Jinx is running lethal tempo, I have to give it to the Jinx. Because Jinx right now in the current meta, with the great setup and great CC lock coming in from this whole composition from Amplfy, Jinx can just be easily activated.
Yeah, so there's a lot more lockdown. I agree with you 100%. There's a lot more lockdown on the red side, and it does exactly that. Like it activates the Jinx, and when that happens, Ardent Esports does not have much leeway on keeping the Jinx chilled out, like calming down the Jinx and preventing any more kills, because past the Maokai, past the Jarvan, the Jinx has enough range that any of the threats, which are the Ahri and the Caitlyn, can be easily reached by the Jinx.
And of course, looking at the composition from Ardent Esports, we are seeing quite beefy frontline in the Maokai and Jarvan. But then again, after that beefy frontline, we are seeing 3 squishy targets from the side of Ardent Esports. Because why aren't we saying the same for Team Amplfy? We do have Lissandra. Lissandra is not considered squishy.
Yeah,
Lissandra has his own ultimate to protect himself. Meanwhile, for Ahri, the moment he gets caught out with 1 CC, that's going to be a lockdown forever. But looking at the squishy targets, they do have the disengage coming in from Monsoon. But after that, they have to at least get a kill on Jinx. Looking at their composition, a kill on Jinx would mean a teamfight win for Ardent Esports.
Yeah, so there's a lot of emphasis on Ja, the Ahri, to get a pick on the Jinx, or at least threaten the positioning so that Jinx can't just free hit from the back. I think there's some egos coming into play with the picks. For example, the Maokai. I think the Maokai was picked maybe because they weren't as confident with matching the Kled. There are a bunch of carry top laners, like Irelia was left open, Gangplank was left open,
Riven and Fiora.
Yeah, Aatrox is left open. Yeah. So there are a lot of picks that could actually match up to the Kled. But Maokai is definitely a safe pick, and it can still fit their comp. So let's see what Team Amplfy decide to do with that possible inference.
And of course, for our supporters over here, if you have your own analysis, make sure to share them on stream. We do have viewers from Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, and make sure to share this stream after you drop down your analysis. Of course, we're casting over here. We have our own analysis of this game, looking at their compositions and all, but we know that our viewers are smart as well. So if you have your own predictions, analysis, make sure to share them on the stream. Again, thank you for supporting FSL, and looking at this whole match, what's your major prediction over this one?
So I think we can't like hide the elephant in the room. Team Amplfy was the champions last year, so they may be the favorites of this tournament. So there's some like aurahan or some pretense that that the other team has going up against the previous champions. So I think already the drafting has gone in Team Amplify's way. So we'll see how they carry that onto the game.
Yeah, and of course, speaking of the game, I think the players are loaded onto the Rift, but we are still waiting for them to, fix the settings, fix some things that they have to fix. Maybe a little bit of pep talk before the game starts. Of course, you have to have a healthy mental state if you want to win games. You can't win games when you're super stressed about your loss or super stressed about other things in life. But again, this is a competitive game. You have to stay competitive. You have to stay healthy. So speaking of the game, in your predictions as well, you did say that Amplify kind of won that draft.
Yeah.
You did see that they got a lot of CC. But for Team Ardent, for Ardent Esports, what do you think is the way for them to... What are the winning conditions, rather?
So I think Ardent Esports has one of the biggest counters to Team Amplify's drafts, which is the Janna. The Janna is just this huge safety net. It doesn't matter what way Team Amplify decide to go in. Janna is able to counter that with the Monsoon and the Whirlwind. So that's like a one press button. It's very reliable. It's a very reliable engage. And to top of all that, they have a beefy front line with tons and tons of CC. So I think it boils down to how well the team is positioned, and of course it's with the John, it's very easy to react, and with the Ari they have avenues to find a way to kill the Jinx and win the game.
Yeah, and of course I think the main win condition for Ardent Esports over here is to be able to pick off that Jinx, and Jinx as of now is looking to be on the back line, of course, and won't be going near that front line, especially when you have 4 people who are dedicated in protecting you. You have a Nautilus, you have a Lissandra, you have, who's the jungler again?
It's like Sejuani.
It's a Sejuani, just a lot of Glacial Ranger compositions. Oh wait, it's not TFT.
Yes.
But it's something like that. And of course we do know that Glacial Rangers have the best win ratio as of now.
Do they?
Yeah, do they? They do.
Nice. Just gotta give her the frozen mallet, so she becomes a glacial.
Please, Jinx, don't build the frozen mallet. Frozen mallet will be used only for... I don't think
for
so.
TFT.
For TFT builds, but
Frozen.
This isn't TFT. This is FSL 2019, the premier female league for Southeast Asia, and this is, you're watching Philippine National Qualifiers, and we are actually on the losers bracket still, just waiting for this game to finish, and it's gonna be GGTY waiting on that final slot.
Okay, so a little bit into the compositions, or at least how the lanes will match up, because that's the first thing we will see, at least for the first 10 minutes of the game. Top lane, I definitely hand it to the Kled. I don't think the Maokai has any opportunity to win the trade, but there is the lockdown potential of the Jarvan and the Maokai. Just count how many CC there is in that. So the Maokai by himself has a slow, a snare, and a knock-up / slow. And another snare. So practically everything on his kit has just so much CC.
Some form of CC.
Yeah, and if the Jarvan, usually Jarvans build damage early game, so they at least have the damage to beat Kled. But at the same time, Kled has just too many dashes, so 2 dashes, an unstoppable ult, and the reset from Kled, the CC reset from Scar leaving Kled, and of course there's the heal. So what this means for the Kled is that there are some safe trading patterns to take, even though there is the risk of jungler ganks.
But looking, we just have to wait and see in how this Maokai will deal against Janie. We did see Janie perform super well on that Urgot last game, getting a quadra kill, but sadly Missy Hoppy pressing Q a little bit early, just stealing away that pentakill. I think they didn't plan it out. Of course, you would want to just kill everyone immediately, but then again, that's a major quadra kill for Janie over here. That's the type of plays that you can play over and over again and be satisfied in how you played that team fight. And for Janie, I think, still in high spirits, picking this Kled, and the momentum is certainly on the side of Amplfy over here, going up against Ardent Esports. And for Ardent Esports, they are one of those tournament favorites, high-profile teams, to be honest. And we're just looking at, I think the pressure will be on for Ja over here on that RE. As we said, it's gonna be her personal mission to assassinate Ain's Jinx. If she isn't able to get Jinx, it's most likely gonna be in favor of Team Amplify. So really no pressure coming in for us, because all the pressure is already in the game for Ja.
So with Ja, it's kind of safe. Ari is a really safe champion as long as you have your ult. You have 3 dashes. You have a charm. You can't really be locked down. But considering the drafted mid laner, which is Lissandra, and then the jungler is Sejuani, just imagine how much lockdown that has. Like the 2 glacials, you're not gonna be able to move. You're not gonna be able to cast your ultimate if the Lissandra gets up close, snares, and change the ults together.
Yeah.
But there is not enough damage between those two. I don't think Lissandra has a particularly bursty kit. So as long as Ari can survive that, I think the Ari should be able to get away safely.
Yeah, but we are looking at an Ari without cleanse.
Yeah.
For Ardent Esports, I think if I were to decide on a little bit on the pick and ban phase, or maybe if they do have a coach, I think it could have been very optimal for this Ari to take a cleanse, because this is going to be an easy gank all day in the mid lane. The moment the flash from Ari is burned, Lissandra can easily just go in, land the snare, and the CC chain coming in from Wicked's Sejuani as well will just be too long. The duration is going to be too long for Ja, even if the damage is kind of
Yeah.
just the duration of CC is enough to buy them the time to land a couple of auto attacks, just ticking down with some more abilities, and that's just gonna be an easy gank in the mid lane for Ja. We've been talking about this Ari for the whole entirety of this early part of the game, but it's just because that it's gonna be the focal point for Ardent Esports. There's literally no other person from Ardent Esports that has the ability to enter and assassinate Ains. Oh, but what about the Jarvan, homie? No, the Jarvan will be building Brewster in the mid-game phase or late-game phase and won't be able to assassinate Ains. This Jarvan will not be building Tiamat triple BF sword just to kill this Jinx. So it falls to Ja if he wants to kill this Jinx.
Yeah, so
Easy as that.
yeah, it really is. It really is all on Ja. So I want to see the Jarvan prioritizing getting Ja ahead, because once you unlock the Ari and put the Lissandra behind, you put a massive threat on the map, and the Ari can move practically anywhere with the 3 dashes. So there's not much of a difficulty on the execution of any ganks where the Ari might go, especially bot lane, where if the Jinx has no flash, it's very easy to land the charm and get the kill.
And of course, we do know that this happened a few patches ago, like literally around 4 to 5 patches ago. But we have to take note that the damage amplification is back on that charm, and that only gives Ari more power to assassinate this Jinx. But we have to take note that even if the kill pressure from this bot lane of Amplfy is massive, Dredge line, and of course the traps from Jinx as well, they ran a fairly safe summoner spell and masteries. We're seeing a Guardian from this Nautilus. We're seeing a barrier from Jinx with fleet footwork, if I'm right. So this is going to be a fairly safe bot lane for Amplfy, still respecting the capacity of Cha and Shendi to trade with them.
Yeah, that's actually really smart of Team Amplfy, acknowledging that, hey, come late game, the Jinx will be our only damage, so we better get some safe summoners out there. So the Jinx is running barrier, and the Nautilus is running heal, which is it's kind of weird, because I would expect the same like if you swap the summoners of the bot lanes, that's what I think would be the standard. So usually the Jinx would run heal, and maybe the Nautilus, a more aggressive champion, can run ignite. And meanwhile, the Janna is running heal, and the Caitlyn is running barrier, because those two are just looking to survive the laning phase or whatever engage comes their way.
Yeah, but look at the summoner spells of Lissandra and Sejuani right now. Both of them are running Aftershock, so we did talk about Missy Hops on this Lissandra. She will be fairly tanky. We did already see her stellar performance on this Lissandra last game, so it's no question that this Lissandra is one of her comfort picks in this tournament, and I think she has been playing exceptionally well in this Lissandra, setting up kill after kill for her team. So this Lissandra, we can't count her out, even if Aftershock deals significantly less damage. But of course, if you're gonna pick Lissandra, it's not about the damage. It's about the survivability in the fight and the capacity to chain CC together with the Sejuani. And Kled running on this Conqueror, if given the chance, he can end them all. But again, look at the Ardent Esports. What's their answer towards this tanky, well-balanced lineup? Because we've been talking about assassinating the Jinx. That's, as we can see, is the only way for them to win team fights in the late game. But for early game and mid game, what do you think that they can do to at least survive or win the early game?
Yeah, so we haven't talked about the junglers, and that's my answer to your question. At the moment, the Jarvan is running Conquerors. That means the Jarvan wants to at least be a heavy presence a heavier presence in early to mid game as compared to the Sejuani. So at least the Ardent Esports can rely on the Jarvan to at the very least win the jungle. And for me, the jungle can spread their influence across the map. So although we say the Maokai may be losing or there's a lot of pressure in Ahri, you have to look at the Jarvan and think just how much pressure the Jarvan can exert. The Jarvan can easily push out the Sejuani and on top of all that provide possible jungle invades, so that immediately negates any sort of unknown factor of the enemy jungler for Ardent Esports' side.
Yeah, and we have to take note that Sejuani, even if she's tanky in the early game, it's only because of Aftershock and Frost Armor. So the moment that those buffs on Sejuani falls off, it's gonna be a fairly squishy jungler. And if we look at the Flag and Drag combo, the whole combo, the Flag and Drag coming in from Jarvan, it negates some of the armor as well.
Yeah.
So again, having that bonus armor penetration coming in from the Dragon Spear is just massive for this Jarvan. But looking at the jungle starts right now, we are seeing pinks coming in from Team Ardent to just have the typical window start where they view out the entrances, making sure that there won't be any invades coming in from Team Amplfy. Because if you think about it, Team Amplfy has a really strong level 1.
Yeah. What's important to note is that the Jarvan went Pink Warden and consumable health potion. That means there's a heavier emphasis on the scuttle, obtaining the scuttle for free HP and free gold, because the Jarvan can't stay in lane, or does not, at least the very least, does not want to stay not lane but in the jungle as long, because as compared to the refillable health potion, the more if you keep burning those health pots, it's like burning gold. And jungler as a low resource role, you don't want to be burning through your pots. So what a possible gank, a possible jungle passing for the Jarvan is blue into Krug, blue into Gromp, into Scuttle, into possibly a gank. So that'll keep the Jarvan healthy enough that maybe she won't have to. Oh, and there's a 3 sapling leash. That's great.
That's gonna be great for this Jarvan. Jarvan already has a great clear speed, especially with that attack speed bonus coming in from the Dimash and Standard. That's gonna be a hard leash coming in from Amplfy as well, so that actually matches the clear speed. But comparing Sejuani and Jarvan, who do you think has the better clear speed on the first run through the jungle?
I think with the 3 sapling leash, I have to give it to Jarvan. I think Jarvan with the blue buff as well can just rotate the spells a lot more, though the Jarvan is going much lower. So we'll see if there might be a fight for this.
Almost a dredge line over here in the bottom lane. That was a little bit late on the timer. If she casted that 1 second early, that could have been an early summoner spell burn. But then again, that was a great call by Amplfy there. Quite aggressive, but you gotta hand it to Ardent as well for just using the minions to dodge that spell.
Yeah, it was probably a zoning hook. They wanted to establish pressure on their lane. the Jarvan, I think, is looking for a gank at mid lane right now. Look at the positioning. There are pings going on.
Wang, the Frozen Claw dodges two people rather. That's gonna be Missy Hops with End One in the mid lane, dodging that gank. But again, the pressure coming in from Wang is good for Ardent Esports right now.
Yeah, there was a lot of swag as this Kled deals some trading damage to the Maokai, but there was a lot of swag in that dodge from Missy Hops with the claw, escaping and even forcing a flash out of the R.
Yep, and again, that was well played by Missy Hops in the mid lane. We are seeing that a lot of minions have piled up in the top lane. This must be a good opportunity to have a gank in the mid lane. The charm does land on Lissandra, and that dodges the gank as well. And that, again, that's like ego versus ego here in the mid lane. A lot of ganks being negated with good and well-timed abilities.
Yeah, the mid laners definitely showing they have confidence in the champion that they're playing, knowing that there's a lot of emphasis on mid lane, knowing that there will be a lot of jungle pressure, and they're still showing poise for it.
Bear Trope on a wrap doesn't land, but that's gonna be Sejuani trying to gank the top lane, and Ardent survives another gank coming in from Wicked over here. And Wicked right now level 3 compared to a Jarvan still level 3, and that's gonna be fairly even, but Jarvan right now vertically jungling.
Yeah, so the Jarvan just at this point just taking camps, and if he gets spotted by a ward, that's no biggie. He's able to exert pressure on bot lane, preventing the Nautilus from even entering, or maybe even forcing available for a counter gank, since the Nautilus has been looking for hooks. The bot lane can communicate that.
And it lands on this Janna. The splash will be there to keep him alive, and that's gonna be Janna burning the flash. Low in HP right now, but the pots will keep him in lane.
Yeah, so that's an insane game plan from Mads. Just always throwing out the hook, right? Like they know they can win. They know they can win trades, and they know that the Nautilus Jinx is a stronger combination in a 2v2 trade if the hook lands. But for the moment, I think the Janna staying further back and spamming the Q, the tornado will be safe right now.
And of course, we do see that Shendy has burned her flash already in the bot lane, and that's gonna be scary if the dredge line lands again on her face, so she has to stay careful. The CC lock on this 2v2 bot lane is unreal compared to the minor CC that they have with the knock up from that Q, and of course the traps of Caitlyn. But looking at this top lane, small trade up once again, and that's gonna be a lot of lane priority taken by Kled for majority of this game. Actually gives Wicked the opportunity to counter jungle, but it has been Wang who has been counter jungling around the map. And of course, we are seeing that Amplfy, they did this in, I don't think it's Amplfy, actually it's Ardent. They are trying to take Dragon right now.
Yeah, so I'm not sure about this.
Wait, hold that thought. Teleports are burned. The smite secures the Infernal Drake, and that's gonna be a 3v3 inside the pit. And the first blood will go to Ja, and Missy Hops looks to be the second kill, and that's gonna be a double kill to the Ahri. The knockup lands on one more kill for Shendy over there, and that's a 3-4-0 trade plus the Infernal Drake for Ardent Esports.
Yeah, so there was a questionable decision to take the dragon, but then I think Ardent Esports made a good turn, and were able to wipe out Team Amplfy. This is exactly what the Maokai wants. The Maokai wants a lot of action across the map. So although the Maokai is down around 20 CS, the Maokai has 2 assists at least to fight back that loss.
Yeah, and we are seeing that Wang might be in trouble there, but the Lissandra will be going towards the Frozen Tomb. That's going to be a kill secure, and then Missy Hops takes another kill, resets the lane, I think, just 150 or around 300 gold lead for this Ahri.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why that Jarvan wanted to stay. There's not much threat, a kill threat, which is exactly what Team Amplfy wants for the Jinx excited state.
Yeah, of course we do want to see that we do want to see Jinx get a reset in every team fight, because that actually is the Jinx that Team Amplfy wants to utilize in team fights. But the hard part is getting that one kill, especially in that Dragon Pit where Wang Smite secured that dragon, also healing him in the process enough to fight and get a kill. So that was great judgment from Ardent Esports and a great call for Maokai to teleport as well. Sure, the CS lead is heavily in the favor of this Kled, but then again, you can't really match Kled on a 1v1. Why not teleport in the Dragon Pit and get some assist for yourself then?
Yeah, so one thing we didn't talk about was that Team Amplfy does not have particularly good early games.
But hold that thought, that's gonna be a whole combo landing on this Lissandra, but Lissandra's just too tanky to get assassinated by this Ahri early on. We are seeing that Ahri built a lost chapter and you'll be opting to get that early Luden's Echo.
So the Ahri already a little bit ahead, and that's a little scary for an early to mid game strong champion. What you do not want to see is your enemy's main win condition, like the Ahri assassinating the Jinx, getting ahead and gaining control over mid lane.
Yeah, and of course control is a big issue over here, but look at the top lane. Maokai just uses his W to utilize some form of escape, but he will be under turret trying to trade against Janie, and Vanby survives another gank.
Yeah, so what Team Amplfy is doing is they're isolating the top lane. Look how many wards, look how many pink wards there are in top lane for the red side. There are 3 plus like 1 ward. So they want to prevent the Jarvan from ever ganking this lane, and so they can keep the lead on Janie with more than double the CS and keep shoving the Maokai into the turret.
Yeah, and of course shoving the Maokai on his own turret means that whenever he burns that teleport to go or respond in fights that happens on the other side of the map, it's gonna give Kled the opportunity to just get plate after plate, and we know that Kled is one of their prime split pushers inside the game right now. Can easily escape with charge, can easily go to the turret with charge, and just the damage coming in from W is just relentless on those turrets. But look at this, the Nautilus ult will land on Su, and the snare will land on Sha. A lot of heals coming in from this Janna, and that's gonna be a well-placed Monsoon to win that trade.
Yeah, so Team Amplfy using the Jinx used the barrier. Like I said in Pick and Ban, the Janna is just this huge safety net. As long as the Janna doesn't get caught.
But speaking of the Janna, he gets caught over there, and the Sejuani lands an ult on Cha over here. Cha low on mana, but the heal is there, trying to kite away, and Sejuani a little bit tanky over there, and great kiting coming in from the bot lane of Ardent Esports.
Okay, so just a little nervous laughter from the Janna, the Janna almost getting caught and ruining the entire laning phase for this bot duo. They were winning decently hard, 20 CS advantage, but the Janna almost getting caught. So the Team Amplify's bot lane, they want to land a hook and possibly get a kill, so they can at least fight back some tempo in bot lane.
Yeah, and speaking of tempo, we are seeing that Rift Herald is still up. I think that's the objective to take right now before 14 minutes. What you want is to take the Rift Herald to use it to get more platings. And I think right now Ardent Esports is aware that they would want to take that Rift Herald away from Team Amplfy, but that's gonna be the charge burn, and it will land on one. Bambi in trouble, but Wang gets the kill on Missy Hops. That's gonna be a 3v1 as Wicked tries to enter the fight. A kill return on Wang, but Wang flashes away as Bambi walks away safely with the Ahri landing a charm on Kled. Will Skarl go back in time? No, it won't be, as Ja will get on a killing spree.
Yeah, so that Herald play was actually I think really good. The turn was really good. The call, it's okay. It turned out for the better, so I guess you could say it's good. But they didn't ward it properly, and now they're still trying to force Herald. Unfortunately for Team Amplfy, they don't have the Lissandra has no teleport, so they can't really contest this as much. I wonder if the Sejuani will stay for long.
Yeah, and Nautilus is walking towards that Rift Herald. Pop that eye already, please. The teleport will be burnt from Kled, and the Rift Herald will reset as we are seeing an impending team fight on the Rift Herald. But no. I think they will surrender that RH. But oh, that thought, that's going to be Alessandra diving on this Maokai. 4 people, what are you doing? Missy Hops flashing to save. Actually, no, that's going to be Maokai against 4 people. Yes, tanky, but burns the flash away to survive that fight.
So I think everybody's getting like a little trigger happy. Everybody's too excited around the getting the Herald advantage. Bambi actually going for a super deep TP play. You see the ward by the red side, red buff. That's where Bambi teleported to. And but her team called like the fight off. They're like, okay, everybody's too low, and so Bambi was like stuck in no man's land trying to survive. Had to burn the flash, but I think that's heads up play, managing to stay alive against 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, I mean, Bambi is fairly tanky right now, down by 40 CS, but that's already given if you're going up against Kled using a Maokai. But he has been surviving in certain fights that he thought he was already going to be dead. But look at this, Shendy trying to solo kill an 80 carry, burns the barrier away. Ainz gets bullied by this Janna.
Yeah, so the Janna was a safety net, but apparently you can use it to kill enemy AD carries. I'm not sure why the Jinx was staying in lane with like half her HP, but props up to Shendy for managing to take off the barrier. That's a huge win condition. They want to get away all those safety nets all around the group.
Yeah, and Ardent right now will be taking a free Cloud Drake, and paired with an Infernal Rig, that's going to be lethal in the mid phase of the game. We do know that mid game phase is heavily reliant on the rotations of the team, and that bonus movement speed and damage will be great for Ardent Esports. But right now we haven't seen first brick yet, but I'm looking at the top lane for Team Amplfy. Meanwhile, for Ardent Esports, they are racing on this bot lane.
Yeah, so Ardent Esports is 2k gold lead ahead, or 1.5k gold lead ahead, and 4 kills ahead. 5 to 1. The unsung hero for Ardent Esports is Wang. So every time there has been a fight, every time that Ardent Esports has won a fight or made a call that has made a fight, has all been because Wang has forced a neutral objective. And sometimes, those calls go iffy, but at least they're able to spot that they are stronger at this moment, and they have a team fighting top laner a little bit better than the Kled. And they're able to force fights and manage to grow a lead and keep that Maokai roughly equal with the Kled through assists.
Yeah, and of course, assists hover around 75 to 150 gold. So again, the CS lead is massive in the top lane, but we're not seeing huge bounties on this Kled. So that means they are fairly even in the top lane right now. But the turret plating score, I think we have to give it to the Kled. He got 3 out of that outer turret, and it's almost gonna fall down if this Maokai decides to respond to another lane. I think that's gonna be first brick for Kled. Rift Herald is still up, and we're seeing a few pings coming in from Ardent Esports. They think Team Amplfy is taking that Rift Herald, but they are just clearing a little bit of vision over there. Rift Herald, Scuttle Crab is there if they want to secure some unsweepable vision.
Yeah, so right now everybody's fighting for the Rift Herald. There's like four champions for the blue side around the Rift Herald, and looks like the red side is looking to contest.
Yeah, and Ardent Esports in a position to take this Rift Herald, but they have to respect Team Amplify's ability to just try and enter that fight. Again, they have the Sandra, and they have Nautilus as well. And don't forget the charge from Kled as well.
The problem for Team Amplfy is that their damage is all in the Jinx, and right now the Jinx just wants to farm. So what this means is that they're not really able to put enough pressure, like enough damage threat on Ardent Esports. Like everybody in Ardent Esports is either tanky or has a lot of escape. So I think if Team Amplfy decides to group up with their top jungle, mid, and support, they do not have enough damage to force Ardent Esports off any objectives.
Yeah, and this is already Infinity Edge finished on both
Ouch.
80 carries. Disgusting damage coming in from that headshot critical, and I think that's very unfortunate for Ainz. Headshot plus critical. If she wasn't able to dodge that tilt over Peacemaker, that could have been a kill using Ace
She would
in
have
the
been
hole.
dead. She would have been dead. That would have meant first tower too. But the Jinx has her barrier up, and now that the Nautilus is with her, the heal is back there, and a Targon procs are there as well. So I think the Jinx will be able to stay in lane for a little while.
Yeah, and of course the traps will be circling around this turret. Jinx better be careful to walk around, and that actually gives more options for a dive. I'm not quite sure on why Ardent Esports is not taking a dive in the bottom lane. Rift Herald will be down in a couple of minutes. So investing in the bottom lane right now would be the priority if I would decide. Like, you should dive this bot lane right now. Summoners are indeed up, but Ains was around half HP earlier.
Yeah, I think both sides want the Rift Herald. For red side, for Team Amplfy, they want the Kled with the Rift Herald. They want to at least get down the turret down and maybe force a rotation, or they could use it at bot lane and free up the Jinx. On the other hand, Ardent Esports, they want to unlock this Ahri so that the Ahri can start roaming. They want to start pressuring that Jinx down in bot lane. The Jinx has been farming too safely. Imagine if the Ahri, if they broke down the mid lane turret, the Ahri would have had so much more room to roam. Maybe push off the pressure from Kled, put some more pressure in jungle, and more importantly, get a...
Yeah, but looks like this is gonna be a gank in the mid lane. Frozen Claw is there to just escape. But going back to that point you made, we are seeing a fairly quiet mid game as of now. Both mid laners are trying to free up some pressure around the map, but canceling out each other with the wave clear that they both have, to be honest. But looking at Ja right now, we are seeing a Luden's Echo with an Oblivion Orb. This is more than enough Magic Pen and burst damage to put down Jinx to a 3/4 of his HP.
I think what the Ardent Esports' comp will turn on at around the... Oh, as the fight starts, I think the Kled just wants to say hello to Bambi. Yeah, I don't think any kill's gonna happen. Bambi has way too much CC and has way too much heal, can just heal that up. But as I was saying, I think Ardent Esports' team fight comp will turn on a little more at around the 23-minute mark when the Caitlyn is able to complete. Is that Essence Reaver I see? Is that an Essence Reaver? I'm not sure you want to go that way, but okay. So Essence Reaver, when the Caitlyn completes her Essence Reaver and the Janna completes her Ardent Sensor. So at that point, the bot lane will have such a huge burst in damage. I'm not sure if Team Amplify's bot lane can match that up. So by that time, we can expect to see the tower down and then maybe some more rotations in mid lane.
Yeah, but looking at the Essence Reaver build for this Caitlyn, it has more damage with critical chance. I mean, it also gives him sustainable mana options. So I think it is going to be smart for this Caitlyn to pick up. And this Essence Reaver will only contribute to bigger headshot damages. Like, Rapid Fire Cannon was a legit option, a viable option indeed. But then again, I think Essence Reaver is respectable as well.
I'm feeling kind of sad for Mads right now. A lot of almost hooks. Like, imagine if that hook landed. I think Ardent Esports would have been forced off the lane. The Jinx would have been able to farm. They would have been able to delay the game state. Right now, there's lots of things on Air Drake. I'm not sure if they want to risk their current like safety or current like the slowness of the game for the Jinx to scale.
Yeah, but look at this. Glacial Prison doesn't land, but the Dredge line does. Look, Cha just dodging a little bit of abilities over there, but the Nautilus ult will land. Ace in the hole. TP coming in from Bambi, and that's going to be Mads. Going to be dead to this Caitlyn, but this is 3v1 for the Maokai, and he might be the first reset for this Jinx. Getting excited, but the charm doesn't land. The charge will be there, trying to pick up Shendi over here. So much tankiness coming in from Janie as he resets with that Scar. Another kill for the Jinx over here, and that's gonna be Cha getting a kill on the Madman, and that's gonna be a double kill for this Caitlyn. One more kill, might be a triple, but that's gonna be Ja on a rampage as Ardent Esports take the win on that team fight.
Yeah, that teleport from the Maokai looked really good at the start, but I think overextended and ended up having to fight 1v3. Maokai are not that strong yet. You only have one item as of the moment. So I think that was really going Team Amplify's way, but a really good re-engage when the Ahri came back. The Ardent Esports knew when to turn around and come back for the fight.
And speaking of which, what happened in this thing?
Alright, so the ace in the hole manages to land on the Nautilus. Would have been the CC would have been nice in that fight. Maokai dies trying to 1v3, and that Janna just gets so much done. Like, look how long the Janna survives. They even managed to get the Skarl off before the Janna dies. The Jinx is excited at this point, but there was so much. Look at that W from the Lissandra. There was so much damage, and of course the Lissandra the Lysandra passives were helping in the team fight, but when Ari came to the fight, Team Amplfy just lost all momentum in that fight. Ardent Esports were able to turn it around and managed to get 4 kills.
Yeah, and of course we have to take note that Ari completed the Morel Nomicon at this point. Sorcerer's Boots will be up in quite a while, so in a short while rather. So that's gonna be a lot of magic penetration coming in from this Ari. Even with the true damage coming in from the Orb of Deception, the charm will hurt anyone who will get touched by that heart. And looking at Caitlyn as well, completed the Essence Reaver with the QSS. That's a massive item against this composition. Frozen Tomb, Glacial Prison will miss if you have Flash, but the moment she has QSS, it's gonna be even harder for Amplfy to touch this Caitlyn. And right now, this might be a Dragon Steel, but no it won't, as Caitlyn secures that Air Drake.
Yeah, so this Caitlyn has already gone past her power trough. Caitlyn usually has like a U shape, start off strong, becomes weak until maybe her second or second and a half item, and then becomes strong again. And this Caitlyn's like entirely online at this moment. We can't say that about the Jinx just yet. Still trying to complete her second item, but the Jinx a stronger late game champion if Team Amplfy can sort of ride the wave, chill out for a bit, and bring the Jinx to that late game.
Yeah, and of course, late game will be the best friend of Team Amplfy over here. You're looking at a Jinx with a completed Infinity Edge, opting to get, I think, a Runon's Hurricane, but that is charged, I'm not quite sure, Curate's Dagger. I think it actually...
Yeah, I don't know what you call that.
It gives you the option to take, I think, Static Shiv or Rapid Fire Cannon. So this is not going to be a Runan's build for this Jinx, which I think is kind of iffy, but that's going to be a charge for a 2v2 here in the top lane. The mid laner is there as well, but no, Frozen Tomb will be burned as they call it off weirdly over there, but the charge will be burned, and I think this is going to be a tower take in the top lane for Ardent Esports.
Yeah, unfortunately the Caitlyn, as the fight starts,
Nautilus ult will land on Ja over here, but we are seeing top lane getting taken down by this Caitlyn. Frozen Claw won't be used, and that's gonna be a free outer turret as far as I know it, and that's gonna be a lot of map pressure freed up for Ardent Esports in the red side of Team Amplfy.
Yeah, unfortunately for Team Amplfy, their top and mid laner can go nowhere near the Caitlyn and the Janna. The Caitlyn and the Janna having so much zone of control, they're not even able to go anywhere near the Caitlyn. Caitlyn having so much damage with the BF sword now on top of the 2 items. And I think right now, Amplfy has no answer for Caitlyn. So I want to see how Ardent Esports moves the Caitlyn around to gain objectives, because at this moment, nobody can beat the Caitlyn and nobody can catch the Ahri. Like, how do you answer those threats? The Maokai's okay, like the Maokai's a tank. She's okay to getting beaten down, but there are no answers to these 2 threats on Ardent Esports.
Yeah, and looking at the way Amplfy drafted, it looked to be their game to take. But again, with this high CC compositions, what matters the most is you piling up those CC perfectly and actually landing the first CC. And we haven't seen it happen yet here. We've always seen that they take one target but fail to kill that one target. And it actually, look at this mid lane over here. Cha is looking to be the first kill of this fight. The stun does land, and that's another stun. The QSS, and that's going to be a shutdown kill for the Nautilus as Amplfy is taking to this team fight by storm. Jinx is excited right now. That's going to be a double kill for Ainz. I think that will put him back in the game, and this might be Baron.
Yeah, so as I was saying, nobody could get close to the Caitlyn, but Team Amplfy manages to have it done with the Lysandra long range engage, and they just force it with the Jinx. This time, the big difference was that Jinx was there in that fight with the completed RFC, and now the Baron is free for them to take. And I don't think Ardent Esports can contest this.
But this Baron is half an HP, trying to contest that Baron. Forces a lot of flash coming in from Ardent, cancels the Baron. What the hell?
Yeah, I'm not too sure if this is too smart of a play. The Janna comes here, cancels a lot of abilities with the tornado, and now the Janna is showing off how to kill a champion. She was not able to do that last fight, but at least this time manages to arrive on site at the right time, and the Aryu stayed alive until the end.
Man, the play that Ja did for Ardent Esports in Team Amplify's Baron take, that's gotta be MVP play over there.
Yeah, so Team Amplify would have had a Baron. You see a replay here. Here's the long range engage. They managed to CC lock. We were talking about that. The CC lock managed to land. Look how many stuns and snares go all over the Caitlyn. They were not able to move. They were all layered across. And as you can see, if Team Amplify are able to execute their comp perfectly, Ardent Esports, Radley, this is the glacial comp, you can't even move.
Yeah, and we could see that Cha tried her best in kiting away from that mess, but then again, you can't dodge 4 point and click stuns. That's the Nautilus, the Lissandra, and of course Wicked's Glacial Prison as well. So that's gonna be a massive task for Cha over here, and for Shendi as well to protect her AD carry. But after you pop that Monsoon, what else can you do?
Yeah, so at this point, Ardent Esports, they've lost their lead. They have a Fire Drake, so the gold lead is slightly bigger than you would expect. It's probably at the 4th. It's probably, instead of 1k gold, it's around 2 to 2.5 at most. But I don't think it's enough because this Jinx is coming online, and a Jinx, a well-fed Jinx, and a Jinx carried to late game. I don't think a Caitlyn can stand up to that. So at this point, we now look onto Ja and see the positioning and the timing to assassinate the Jinx.
Yeah,
she doesn't even need to assassinate the Jinx. She just has to put enough pressure that the Jinx can't make full use of her kit, freely auto-attacking or something like that.
Yeah, they have to make sure that Ainz won't be able to position herself well inside a team fight. Because as we've seen in the last fight before their failed Baron attempt, Amplfy, the moment they take away the mobility from Cha, the moment they're able to throw away all of those stuns to a priority target, it just means that this Jinx can go wild. And by wild, we've seen them tower dive 3 people with Ainz, and Ainz right now, I think he's just waiting for the right moment to enter a fight, get a kill, and just get kill after kill, and that's a Jinx that we're talking about.
Yeah, but to get to that point is a much slower discussion. Right now, Ardent Esports, they still have their mid lane turret. That's a big safety net for them. They can at least fall back to that. They have this, they have constant vision over mid lane, a little bit past the river. And this is a really slow combat for ward coverage, because the Aryu wants to gain access to the back line and maybe have a flank and pressure the Jinx out. But at the same time, Team Amplify want Fog of War to be able to start a fight.
Yeah, and speaking of Fog of War, Ardent Esports right now trying to clear up some vision on the Baron area, making sure that they take control of this area, because what you want right now is to be able to secure a Baron for yourself, and Baron will be a huge turning point, especially in games are hovering around 30 minutes or more.
Yeah, so look at the Death Brush. I think Ardent Esports has the advantage right now.
Death Brush. Maokai pulling off the ultimate that actually doesn't snare anyone, but that's gonna be a 5-man engage coming in from this Lissandra. Great Frozen Tomb as well, but look at Cha just free hitting on the back line. The Zonius is there to delay a little bit, but Ainz is on a killing spree as of now. The Jinx got the reset that she wants, but that's gonna be a double kill for the Caitlyn. Just look at Cha going wild. That's gonna be a triple kill, might be a quadra kill, and this is gonna be a pentakill for Ardent Esports. Cha going wild.
Okay, so there was a pause, you know. Both teams, you know, they just had to pause the game and go, okay, wait, did this just really happen? Because I think Cha played that fight perfectly. She 100% deserves that pentakill. Look, all of those mechanics, all of those R's coming into fruition. Look, the kiting was absolutely pristine, and the targeting of Ardent Esports was actually pretty good. They were able to layer some CCs over the Jinx, and the Jarvan, of course, the unsung hero of that fight, managed to pull the Jinx away from the team fight, preventing the Rockets from dealing so much AoE damage to Ardent Esports.
Yeah, and we talked about the damage coming in from the headshot. we are looking at Caitlyn, who essentially has a 4 BF swords. And looking back at this great team fight for Ardent Esports, what can you say? What happened?
Yeah, so Ardent Esports pulled the trigger first. They miss it, but look at the positioning of May and Hamza. Great W. So 5-man W, 5-man ult, and now the fight starts. It's a big slugfest, but the Jarvan off the screen is able to pull the Jinx far away. Look, the Jinx is not even in the fight, so all of the damage dealers of Ardent Esports managed to stay safe all the way until the end. Great tornado, managing to stun the Jinx, and now everybody just run up and try to kill the Jinx, and at that point they've already won.
Oh my god, and she pulls out a badge afterwards.
Yeah.
Look at this, I'm level 7, I just got a pentakill, and I'm celebrating this. I deserve the BM, and chat with great mechanics over there. And I think one more step, they need to take Baron. This is gonna be, this is around 2,000 gold lead for the side of Ardent Esports. That's a massive pentakill coming into their AD carry that gives him the Scimitar, Zeal, plus Guardian Angel. And that's a lot of defensive items against a composition like Team Amplfy's.
Yeah, the Caitlyn is just so much further ahead. She's one full item ahead of the Jinx, even with that and with the Mercurial Scimitar and the Guardian Angel. I don't think she's killable as well with the Janna protecting her. Like, imagine how many peels this Caitlyn has. At this point, the mid lane inhibitor is down. That's not much of a big deal for Team Amplfy. They just need to send maybe the Lissandra or the Jinx to go wave clear it. It's free. It's free gold. But what this means to Ardent Esports is they have bigger control over mid lane. The wave is always pushed up to Team Amplfy, so that means scuttle control, it means some jungle control, it means dragon control, and Baron control are automatically ceded to Ardent Esports. And Team Amplfy, they have to hope for a good like engage into the Baron pit, and of course that'll be very easy with their CC comp.
Yeah, and we are looking at Ardent Esports right now, just forming a lot of good vision around the Baron area. Ace in the hole is popped to pull off some harass on this Jinx, and Jinx down to almost half HP just by that Ace in the hole. But the lifesteal from Fleet Footwork and the Ocean Drake will be enough to keep him safe. I think that's going to be a massive cooldown, but Ocean Drake will be balanced out as Ardent Esports takes an Ocean Drake of their own.
Yeah, so this composition of Ardent Esports is really good at holding chokes and forcing the Team Amplfy to run into their territory. The Caitlyn traps act as a funnel for Team Amplfy. They have to walk around it, and as this narrows down their avenues of attack, which they want multiple avenues of attack. They want multiple threats on the Caitlyn, but the traps will narrow it down so that the Ahri has easy time managing to land the charm and getting a pick, because at this point Team Amplfy, save for the Sejuani, if anybody else gets caught, I think that's a team fight going in the way of Ardent Esports.
Yeah, and right now we are seeing that Ardent Esports is taking control of majority of the part of the map right now. They do have that right, especially after that commanding win in that team fight where Cha got a pentakill. So right now we are seeing that he might be in a bad spot over here. Wicked with the charge of the Kled, right? Channeling right now might hit the Caitlyn, and that's gonna be 4 people on Cha, but the Guardian Angel will give him the reset that he needs. But look at Wang tanking a lot of damage. More stuns will be up for this, and that's gonna be a shutdown for the Jinx, and the reset is there. Might be another kill, and that's gonna be a clean 4-0 trade. Team Amplfy down to business, trying to get that Baron once more.
Yeah, so the placement of that Kled ult was absolutely amazing. It was able to pressure both the Janna and the Caitlyn. That should not happen for Ardent Esports. And what that meant was that there was mass panic. They're like, oh, the 2 people we absolutely need to keep alive are under great threat of dying. And so this just destroys the communications, I believe, of Ardent Esports, because they were just panicking to get the Caitlyn, to get the Janna out of the way. And that was good execution from Team Amplfy. Between the setup of the Sejuani ult, as we see a replay here, we see the Kled ult. Look at the positioning. They don't even know which one will be hit first. So it's the Janna, and now they don't know. Ardent Esports don't know who the target is. The Jarvan ult manages to lock everybody in, but what this means is that while the Caitlyn is dead, the Jinxers has free, like a free hit, having a fun time hitting everybody for free.
Yeah, and of course, this means actually that Team Amplfy will be taking a lot of turrets and possibly Elder Drake, if Elder Drake will be spawning around 3 minutes or so from now, and Baron will be lethal for Ardent Esports right now. If Jinx gets a reset on one more kill, that could mean the game. And Amplfy, after a pentakill coming in from Cha, looks to be back even stronger.
Yeah, wait, so I'm not really seeing Baron buffs on the side of Ardent Esports. It actually went the way of
yeah, I mean lethal for Ardent.
Oh yeah, wait, yeah. So I mixed up the teams. My bad. But from what I've seen in this tournament, whoever had Baron won the game. There's just simply too much pressure, and I think any team with Baron, like, that is the level of this competition. Any team with Baron is simply given the right tools, and they're able to use it perfectly to be able to finish off the game. So right now Team Amplfy has Baron, so I wonder if it'll continue the trend of whoever gets Baron wins the game, because I want to see at least 2 inhibitors down and maybe collect some of those standing goals from all of the turrets.
They have to stop the Kled. They have to kill Kled once.
Yeah.
A Kled with a Baron buff is just too much pressure on one lane, and that's just one champion.
Yeah.
Kled is by far right now the scariest split pusher in this game.
So Team Amplfy was able to bring back the entire gold lead. At this point, although the Caitlyn Janna combo can match up to the Kled, they do not want to send 2 people and cause an inequality in the spread of champions right now for both teams. They want one person to match the Kled, but neither the Maokai nor the Ahri can hit. So what we're looking at is some constant chip damage going on to all lanes. It's a 1-3-1. I wonder if Team Amplfy can pull this off. It's because if they do, they're getting massive value off of this Baron lane.
And that's gonna be the first turret going to the hands of Team Amplfy with this Baron buff, and bot lane looks to be the next. A lot of damage coming in from this siege minion, but I don't think that people can actually get killed in this bottom lane right now. Both laners are fairly tanky, and the only turret that's standing with, I think, with a healthy amount of chance to live would be this mid lane, just because of the Caitlyn.
Yeah, but it doesn't. That bot lane fight, like, it was a wet noodle fight. Nobody was really dealing damage to each other. It's a full tank against a semi-tanky mage. But what Team Amplfy had to do, all they had to do is stay in lane and buff up the cannon minion especially, and the cannon minion will do the work for them. Right now, I think that's an Earth Drake. No, it's an Elder Drake on the map.
Yeah, it's gonna be an Elder Drake because we do see that the 5 Drakes has already spawned, and by now it should be an Elder Drake for every 6 minutes inside the game. So Elder Drake, I think this is going to be a big chance for Ardent Esports to come back to this game. If ever they do secure this Elder Drake, it will empower them long enough to take team fights, even unfavorable ones, and win just because of the brain damage.
Yeah, the problem is there's simply so much zone control from this Caitlyn placing down traps. So even though they're kind of behind Team Amplfy, they're still able to maintain. And we're looking at the split push from this Kled as long as no fight breaks out. And at the moment, Team Amplfy get to decide if a team fight breaks out. As long as no fight breaks out, Maokai has no teleport, so they have Team Ardent Esports have no answer to this Kled.
Well, it's either they take the dragon now or defend that mid lane, but they do decide to go for the responsive play, and this prompts Team Amplfy to move towards the dragon. This is gonna be a big and a long and painful dance for the Elder Drake, and for Ardent Esports, it's only a matter of time before this Kled is able to just end the whole career of this top lane.
Yes, Team Amplfy definitely playing it safe, making sure everything on the checklist is ticked off, like all of these wards done, the top and the bot lane wave are properly fixed. Okay, well, we're getting there, and so maybe now we might see a Baron attempt. There are some pings on Baron buff. When all of these wards are cleared, we might be able to see the Jinx move towards the dragon after this wave is cleared.
Yeah, and Elder Dragon right now looks to be the prime objective to take for Team Amplfy. Meanwhile, for Ardent Esports. Getting a steal on that will be massive,
that's
but look
bad.
at the damage coming in from Caitlyn. The froze, the glacial tomb is there, but the flash will be burnt to not be trapped, but that's gonna be
Good.
Misty Hops, one more auto attack away for death, and that's gonna be Ace in the hole, no canceling this time, and that's gonna be Cha securing a kill against the mid laner of Amplfy.
Yeah, the creeps tried to creep block the Caitlyn, but in the end, Cha was able to pull off a solo kill. That was a heads-up play from Cha, and now they're starting Elder.
And this Elder Drake would transition into a Baron buff. That's the worst timing to die right now. Sure, the teleport is up, and the Baron will be spawning in around 20 seconds from now, but that's still a dead Lissandra. If they do decide to opt for the Baron right now, that's gonna spawn 10 seconds from now. I'm telling you, this is gonna be dangerous for Team Amplfy.
Yeah, so it really is in the side of Ardent Esports' favor. The Ocean Drake showing off there, regenning all champions on Ardent Esports' side, so they're all topped off. They're ready to take Baron when it spawns. Maybe they're just looking to maintain some ward control, get this turret down, get some more control over their jungle, and then maybe go for the jugular with the Baron play and the double Ancient Buffs.
And I don't even think that they're opting for Baron right now. They're just pushing this wave constantly. Look at the burn damage coming in from that Elder Drake.
Yeah, so even at this point, even the Janna will hurt anybody that the tornado hits. I think right now, Team Ardent Esports is not able to force a fight. They have to wait for Team Amplfy to go to them. So there's some zoning happening right now, but I think Team Amplfy is just looking for like one misstep, and they push the button, they pull the trigger, and a fight will start. Fight will break out from it.
Yeah, and they are trying to get a lot of inhibitors with this Elder Drake buff, and we're not seeing Amplfy trying to take a fight over here because, again, Elder Drake is just too powerful for team fighting. They don't want to start a fight that they can't finish on their own.
Yeah, so Mads right now looking for hook angles, because anybody that they catch is already good positioning for the Jinx. They managed to pull the fight outside of the trap ranges and pull it back into their territory. With the destruction of this inhibitor, there are some pings going out for Baron, and I think they'll start it.
Yeah, and of course, Dragon will go down fairly fast. We're seeing a Caitlyn here with a full build over her pocket, and we do see the Elder Drake as well. So that's gonna be a really fast Baron take rather, and they're opting for a death brush strategy.
Yeah, if anybody gets caught here, it's for sure.
Oh, misses the flag and drag, but a Cataclysm lands, and that's gonna be Nautilus engaging to the wall, and that's gonna be a missed dredge line as Mads will fall down to this Ahri, and the fight continues as Sejuani is tanking a lot of damage from this Caitlyn, but Kled enters the fight as look at Cha and Jinx as well. Jinx going to get a kill, but that's gonna be a charm landing on the AD carry, and Cha revives with that Guardian Angel trying to get a kill on this Jinx, and this is gonna be Ja, the only remaining member alive on Ardent Esports, dying to this Kled still on the GA, and that's gonna be Amplfy winning against Ardent Esports even with the Elder Dragon buff.
Yeah, that looked absolutely terrible for Team Amplfy. The Nautilus missed the hook, and they're like, okay, I guess we have to take this fight now. And the Maokai ult even managed to land on all 4 people, but the Kled came up so huge, managing to zone off and even kill the Caitlyn in that fight.
Yeah, and of course we are looking at a 2-man team right now. They aren't able to take the Baron, of course. That's going to be super risky, but that's a huge team fight to take for Team Amplfy. Burning that Elder Drake away from Ardent Esports is crucial in securing victory, but a quick analysis
Yeah,
on this.
the flag and drag misses and the Cataclysm gets used. The Nautilus hook misses, and now they have to take this fight. The Lissandra gets snared and is not able to take the grasp. But look at this! Look at the positioning of this Kled and this Jinx, managing to free hit the Kled, making space. Ardent Esports, unfortunately, the Ahri at this point has already scaled down, so there isn't much the Ahri can do unless the Ahri gets an expressway into the Jinx and manage to kill her off, or at least take her down low enough that she cannot free hit.
Yeah, and we are looking at Jinx with full items as well. This is going to be scary for Ardent Esports if Jinx is able to take a reset. So again, we were talking about early on, the win condition for Ardent Esports, it's still get the Jinx out of the fight.
Yeah, but what we failed to mention is that the Kled actually is a really huge source of DPS, especially with how tanky and with the Scarl reset. The Kled can dive into the enemy backline, at the very least force either the Janna or the Ahri low, and prevent any more DPS coming from Ardent Esports' side.
Yeah, and I think Ardent Esports right now kind of grumbling on this late game shot calling. They attacked the Baron even without checking for wards, and that was kind of weird for them. They have been performing quite well, so I think the pressure is just onto them right now. And for Amplfy, again, we're talking about Amplfy on the late game. This is a different Amplfy from what we've seen in early game. Jinx right now full build, and Lissandra has the capacity. We've seen it, a 5-man snare into a 5-man glacial tomb. That's massive. If Lissandra is able to do that again with the Jinx fed with the items that she needs, that's gonna be the end of Ardent Esports. But for Ardent Esports, what can they do at this point?
Yeah, for Ardent Esports, I think they will have two exposed inhibitors, and of course, let's not forget the Caitlyn has traps. So even though Team Amplfy has really strong engage, they can at least zone them out. Starting this Baron is okay as long as they're able to pull off of it in time and acknowledge the risks that Team Amplfy can pose. But for now, they see the teleport, so at least...
the teleports will be going down on this Baron pit. Glacial Prison lands on Caitlyn and the Nautilus ultimate as well, but a space is created. But the Glacial Prison Glacial Tomb rather will be there to lock down the Caitlyn once again. Great flag and drag coming in from Wicked, but look at Wicked right now dying to Cha, and Cha is looking to free hit. Another great kill coming in from this Caitlyn, but the Jinx is looking to be alive and well on this fight. Flag and drag lands on 2 people again. That's going to be a triple kill for Cha, a quadra kill. Will this be another pentakill? And that's going to be the second pentakill of the game for Cha. Might be the Baron, but again, this might be the game.
Yeah, it just might be the game. That fight looked really strong for Team Amplfy, but unfortunately, the Jinx was not there for maybe the first 8 to 9 seconds of that fight. So what this means, although Team Amplfy, their 4 members have unlimited health bars, Cha just had so much damage and was able to whittle them down. They were forced to funnel into the blue buff side jungle, and Cha just having so much room with the Janna and the Jarvan flag and drag coming big, giving so much room for absolutely amazing damage.
And this is Ardent Esports dethroning the former champions, sending a message they want in on FSL, and they will be facing GGTY, waiting for that finals and a best of 3. And for Ardent Esports, what do you think? Will the momentum be in their favor? GGTY rather, has been just waiting on that final slot, waiting which team will they fight? But right now, Ardent Esports, do you think they'll be tired after that fight?
No, I think with the double pentakill, everybody's in high spirits. They're probably just like high-fiving each other, coming, and I think they can ride that momentum into the next game. Cha coming up so big. So here we see the Jinx on the replay, really far back. This is already almost like 1/4 into the fight. The Zhonya's coming big in, and look at how much space Cha has. Like, look, Cha can even walk up to the Kled, and the tornado actually coming in big. The Jinx wasn't even able to move, so tornado into flag and drag, and Cha just having so much room to DPS. Props to the Maokai. You were beat down the entire game, but you came off big. You were able to do your job, and I think that's what's important.
Yeah, of course. A fed AD carry won't be fed in the first place without the supports in his team. And by supports, I mean Maokai, Janna, and even Ahri. Ahri did her part in preventing the first Baron take, then just trying to disrupt the backline together with her junglers. So again, GG well played to both teams. For Team Amplfy, former champions of FSL, I think this is going to be the end of the road for them for FSL 2019. I do hope that they come back stronger and better. Of course, losing is just part of the competition where you learn, and the good part about losing is you know that there's room for improvement.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of time right now for them to practice. And for Team Ardent, Ardent Esports, I think they only have 30 minutes or so to celebrate because they
Yeah.
will be facing GGTY in the finals, and that's gonna be best of 3.
Yeah, I don't think they have enough time to celebrate. Save it for if they win the championship and go to Singapore to represent the Philippines.
Yeah, and you can't spell championship without chat, you know.
Yeah, maybe that's what caused them to win. Team Amplfy not having enough letters in championship.
Yeah, and of course, we have been your casters for this intense game. My name is Uomi, and together with me is Veer, and we will be right back for the finals of FSL Philippine National Qualifiers 2019, and we will be right back after this short break.